Hi, I'm Lori Seeley, functional medicine health coach, and I focus on Candida, IBS, and heavy metals toxicity. Now, I focus on those things because I used to suffer with them myself, and it's my goal to educate people on the symptoms of Candida and its potential to create other worse states of dis-ease in the body, such as cancer and autoimmunity. When I was fighting my Candida overgrowth, my biggest fear was dying of colon cancer the way my grandfather and also his mother before him did. I saw them both the day before they left this earth, and that is not how I want to go out. It's not pretty. And when I found out that I had a Candida overgrowth, and when I realized that all these issues that I was having with my digestion my entire life would be labeled as IBS. I mean, this is something that was normal to me. I was constantly constipated. That sounds fun, right? But I was constantly constipated or having diarrhea. There was never, ever one day in my life when I just had normal poops, ever since I can remember. I mean, until a number of years ago when I started treating it. And that I had IBS, that was just how my body worked. I thought that was just me, and that was just like how it was going to be. And I was so wrong. And all this stagnant stuff in my colon then created the perfect environment for Candida to grow and thrive, not to mention all of the other things that I did to myself. And this is why I have this titled, How You Created Your Own Candida Overgrowth, because I myself created my own Candida overgrowth, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't realize that the things that I was eating and the other things that I was putting in my body and exposing myself to were actually creating a horrible scenario in my gut that was then going to affect the rest of my body. I had no idea. So it's my goal to, in this video, tell you guys all about that so that you can understand what you're doing that's creating a Candida overgrowth for yourself, or maybe a loved one, or maybe you already know that you have Candida, but maybe there's just one of these things that you're still doing that you didn't realize was part of the puzzle. So let's jump in. How to create a Candida overgrowth? Well, all you have to do, it's very simple. All you have to do is just one thing that kills the beneficial bacteria in your gut. Only one thing. And I'm going to list all of the things that I did that created that scenario in my gut. Okay, so I ate plenty of produce sprayed with pesticides. Now that's going to be any produce that's not organic. If it doesn't say organic on it, it is definitely sprayed with pesticides. And what are pesticides? They're antimicrobial poison. Okay, so if you're eating something that's been sprayed with pesticides, you're eating something that is then going to also, just like it killed the bugs on the plants when they were growing, it's going to kill the bugs inside your gut, because those bugs inside your gut are very similar to the bugs that we don't want crawling on our plants. Okay, so it's the same poison that they put on those plants. You're eating it and you're killing your gut bacteria. And what happens when we kill gut bacteria? What happens when we kill gut bacteria is that Candida has all this space to grow and thrive, because those pesticides don't kill Candida. Candida is a yeast, and it is scrappy, and it will claw and kill and do whatever it can to thrive and grow. Okay? Other things you can do to kill your beneficial gut bacteria. Eat animal products, animal products from animals who ate produce sprayed with pesticides. So this makes sense, right? They're eating the poison that the farmers spray on the plants, and then they're digesting it. It's in their guts, it's in their muscles, and then you eat that stuff and you're getting it too. So that's why we always want to eat organic vegetables and produce and organic meat. One step up from eating organic meat would be eating pasture-raised meat and chicken and eggs and all that stuff, pasture-raised. So that means that they are just grazing and they're eating what they're supposed to be eating. They're eating grass and bugs and other plants. And what happens with sometimes just even straight up organic beef or chicken is that they're eating corn. It might be organic corn, but it's corn. And corn isn't even a vegetable. It's basically sugar. I mean, it's delicious. I love me some sweet corn in the middle of summer, but it's sugar. And those animals eat corn because it makes them grow faster. So we're eating these obese babies, and they've been fed nothing but sugar, and it might be organic sugar, but it's still not good for us. And so I'm off my soapbox about the animal products now. Okay, so some other things that are pretty common that a lot of people do to kill their gut bacteria is antibiotic medication. Every single time somebody has a little bit of a sore throat, and this is what I used to do. I was so guilty of this, like ever since college. I would have a little bit of a tickle, and I was a singer, so I always had a performance coming up, and I always felt like, oh, I need to get rid of this, whatever it is. So I would go to the doctor, and they would give me a round of antibiotics, which then killed a big portion of my gut bacteria, and my digestion was getting worse and worse and worse, and it didn't even start out that good. So that's really bad. Kills all your gut bacteria. Scrappy Candida grows, multiplies and takes up all that space so that your gut bacteria can't grow back, okay? Because if it doesn't have any space to live, it can't go there. So I'm going to speed through the rest of this list. Oral birth control, those kind of hormones do not belong in the gut, and they are bad for your gut bacteria. Proton pump inhibitors such as antacids, Prilosec, omeprazole, Tums, etc. Oral steroids or steroid nasal spray, and also chemotherapy is really bad for the gut bacteria. So I'm sorry to say that if you've done any of those things, you've created the perfect condition for Candida overgrowth, and you probably have one. Now, I did just gloss over that whole chemotherapy thing. I recognize that if you have cancer, that's something that you need to do. But I want you to be aware that you're killing your gut bacteria, and there are so many things you can do to replenish it. And you should be doing that, or you're going to have huge problems down the line, and possibly even it's going to make it easier for the cancer to come back if you don't have the beneficial gut bacteria, because that is what constitutes your immune system. You need that. So after rounds of chemotherapy, always be aware that you need to be replenishing your gut bacteria. So after we've been killing all of our gut bacteria, you add into that the high sugar typical American diet, and not only have you created a great environment for Candida to thrive, you're also feeding it the thing that it loves best. Now, I've seen reports with varying numbers, but from what I've seen, somewhere between 70 and 80% of Americans actually have a Candida overgrowth. Now, of those people with a Candida overgrowth, about 60% are not aware that they have it. That means maybe 30 to 40% of those people that have the Candida overgrowth are actually aware of it. Now, I think you can guess, like this, I didn't see this in any of the reports, but you can kind of surmise that of those 40% who are aware of their Candida overgrowth, there's even fewer people who are doing something about it. So I'm here to help you with that. Okay. So if you want to read more about this subject, please head over to my blog. I linked it in the notes. And if you already know you have a Candida overgrowth, still read the blog, and also head over to my Anti-Candida breakfast recipes so you can download your free copy of the Anti-Candida breakfast recipes. These are recipes that I found in various places and kind of tweaked it a little bit so that it was not going to feed Candida. And so I linked that below too. And I found it in like a million different places. I gathered it all together so that you can have all this stuff in one place. And I know when you're trying to eat to fight Candida, the hardest thing is breakfast. And what a lot of people will say is, oh, you just need to get on this different mindset about breakfast, you know, eat dinner from the previous day, like eat leftovers from dinner from yesterday. And that's totally acceptable. And if that's something that you can do, that's really the best way to go. But for me, and I know for a lot of other people as well, that's not like appetizing in the morning. Like I don't want to have soup in the morning. Just because I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to have sweet stuff in the morning, which is probably why I had the Candida overgrowth in the first place. I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But we want to go and change that. And so I have these recipes that are a little more breakfasty that can help you to kill your Candida. So, and if you're not already in my group, the Candida, IBS, and Heavy Metals Facebook group, I invite you to go over there and request to join as well. So I also linked to that. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep fighting, Candida warriors.